It's time that Dad sits you down and we have the talk.
You didn't have the talk, did you?
You need to stop writing and publishing your novels. You just do. I know, you're very excited about this story of yours, the woman, elf, orc, warrior, mage, telepath, who's fighting alongside her gay troll best friend with a non-threatening quasi-male werewolf who she just hates, but they'll end up being lovers, to take back the kingdom of humbuggery from the evil Trump-like tyrant and his fascist gnome army who stole the throne from her in the first place with the help of the Dark Empire. I know, it took you a couple of weeks to write it, and your mom looked at it and said it was nice, and my nephew drew you up a cover, and you're ready to upload to KDP. But I wish you wouldn't do that just yet.
Wait.
I know you've read a lot of books and you're all inspired, but I gotta ask, if you saw one episode of Dr. Welby, or even a whole season, do you think you'd be qualified to do heart transplants?
By now, Marcus Welby could have cured 5 diseases and done brain surgery.
I know, it's not the same thing, because that's being a doctor, but, actually it is. There's a lot of studying and hard work and learning and practicing before you launch a career, any career. And it's especially applicable to writing novels, where you don't know you're any good at it until someone other than Mom reads your book. And I don't mean your friends. Someone mean. Like me.
The manies are coming! The manies are...
And it's not your fault. It's just not. I blame two things, actually, for this situation. The publishing industry and KDP.
It's a murder!
The publishing industry used to be the keepers of the flame. The ones who searched high and low for that novel or that story which captures a moment of existence hitherto unexamined or presented in a new and, well, novel way.
Oh, brother.
The industry used to nurture talent. I mean, you had agents like Maxwell Perkins taking that madman Thomas Wolfe in hand and digging such classics as Look Homeward Angel and Of Time in the River out of his ravings. The industry sought talent, recognized it, and developed it, and gate-kept it.
What is your favorite color? Blue.
I know, that's a bad word these days. Gatekeeping, it stifles your freedom of expression. It crushes your inner muse and puts you under the thumb of faceless, self-appointed mavens of the common weal. But you have to understand, there were far too many people flinging manuscripts over the transom at these publishing industry agents. Expecting to be acknowledged as geniuses and given million-dollar contracts because of their spy thriller romance fantasy set on Io.
We're in space!
The gatekeeper swatted that crap out of the air and thereby spared us the dilution. We expected that a book published through a publishing company had been properly vetted, edited, re-edited, and purified in the crucible of high literary standards.
Much superior.
And I'm not being a snob here because, well, not everything they published was a sterling example of the written word. Some of them turned out to be real stinkers. But at least they were well-crafted ones. Usually. Now, I'm not saying that your book is a stinker. I don't know. I haven't read it. My point is that a lot of very professional eyes got a look at a book before it became a book. That is, until the publishing industry discovered politics.
Politics.
Not in the nonfiction sense, because they've always published those kinds of books, but in the sense of changing human nature and the world politics. They acquired a mission from God.
We're on a mission from God.
We are going to remake humanity into our Upper West Side image.
Thank you, Mosley.
Books were no longer published on their merit, but whether they advanced an agenda.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
Women writers with a fluid sexual identity writing about abuses suffered at the hands of the straight white male patriarchy were almost guaranteed a 10-book deal. So, you might just consider sending a few query letters out because your story sounds right up their alley. Let a couple of, somewhat professionals take a look at what you're doing. I mean, you might get surprised. Very surprised.
To professionalism!
I don't mean anything by that. Yes, I know that will take a while, maybe even years, and you're ready to go right now. But at least maybe consider going that route before you put it up on KDP. I mean, I know a guy who had at least 100 or so queries to reputable agents offering a fantasy set in heaven of all places, and got only form rejections before he decided to self-publish. See, writers don't give up. The story is clawing its way out. I know it's clawing its way out of you. I mean, doesn't your gay troll have really long claws?
Very poor choice of word.
Okay, I'm just being funny. This is the difference between authors and writers. Authors write to get published. Writers write because they have to.
Let me get this straight.
Maybe it's a good story or not, and maybe people like it or not, but it's going to see some kind of daylight somewhere. I mean, you're writing this because you're just burning to tell this story, right? Not for fame and fortune?
You maniac!
Because I have to tell you, there's very little fame and fortune in self-publishing. Very little glory. Very little respect. For years and years, it was the realm of grandmothers writing reminiscences that only their immediate family would find interesting, and then only some of them. Or of writers so terrible, but with egos so gigantic, they simply can't accept that their writing is dreck and shell out several $1,000s to do a print run of their spy thriller romance fantasy set on IO.
Pigs in space!
And sell it at swap meets. Good writers who did not meet the publishing industry's new political requirements were left with little choice. They could either give up, which I said was never going to happen, or shell out the money, do a 100-book print run, give a couple of the friends and family, and sell it at swap meets.
Ich bin ein Springfield swap meet patron.
Then came KDP, and lo, an answer to frustrated writers' prayers. Unfortunately, it was also the answer for a lot of people who weren't writers, even under the most charitable of definitions. Anyone, and I mean anyone, could upload their manuscript and have a published book available for purchase. They write an epic tale of knights and wizards in about an hour. No editing, no proofreading, no development, a slapped-on cover that someone drew, upload to KDP, and look at me. I'm an author. An indie author. I'm not saying that's you, don't get mad, but I'm pointing out what company you will be joining. The indie author community.
Yeah, how about that?
I prefer you dump indie and use free-range author instead. It's more descriptive, don't you think? No? Okay. But the results of all these uploads were simply disaster. And because of it, indie, free-range, whatever publishing has gained a frightful and well-earned reputation of being utter crap. Amateurish, dreadfully written fanfic that wouldn't pass muster for a local grocery store newsletter.
You join chat rooms, you write poetry, you post Doogie Howser fanfic.
And I'm not saying that's you. I'm not. I'm sure yours is a diamond, but hear me out. The other writers of this really bad stuff are stunned when they receive the series of half-star and one-star reviews that are probably too generous to begin with, and they get mad at the readers who cannot recognize the genius that is them.
Genius is an understatement.
Hear me out. Good writers, the ones who don't meet the publishing industry's DEI qualifications, have to upload their good novels into the middle of this septic tank. A diamond in the mud, barely noticed, if at all.
Oh, this makes me very angry.
This is what happens when the borders are thrown wide open and there's no checkpoint to verify qualifications.
All right, there's the checkpoint.
I know it sounds like I'm trying to discourage you, but I'm not. See, your book must meet the same professional standards as the biggest and best publishing company. No AI or word check program is going to cut it for you. Your book must be edited. And I don't mean copy edited, I mean developmental and proofread, and you're going to have to buy those services yourself. And yes, it's expensive, and well, yes, we'll see what we can do to help. But you have to understand, good quality work is always expensive. And yes, I know your book is the highest of qualities, but if you want to play with the big boys, then you have to up your game.
Indians win it! The Indians win it!
And that may mean taking a few extra looks at your troll werewolf story before you hit submit.
Whew, that was close.
And you're not going to make any money on it. Not at all. You're going to go into debt. Because a writer has to write. And if you're not willing to even consider these suggestions, then perhaps you should find another hobby.
Okay, Chris, this is the gentle art of philately.
Old guy here. See you later.